Here we go, Mortal Kombat. Fight! So the movie starts off with Liu Kang's little brother, Chan, I guess his name is, and they're at like this temple, and he's fighting Shang Tsung, and pretty much Shang Tsung's just like kicking his ass, and then he looks at the camera ominously and is like, "You will die." And then he calls out for Liu Kang. Liu Kang doesn't go, and he kills Chan. Then cut to Liu Kang. He goes to like the Temple of the Order of the Light. He wants to participate in the Mortal Kombat tournament to avenge his brother. And then he's confronted by Raiden, who looks just like a hobo, and he doesn't believe that Raiden is actually who he says he is. So he attacks him, and Raiden pretty much fucks him up. Well, he just judo flips him. No big deal. And then that's it. He's a believer, just like that. Then you got Johnny Cage, who is a Hollywood actor. He specializes in like martial arts, I guess. So he's like out to prove himself, and so his old sensei invites him to the tournament, but it's not his sensei at all because Shang Tsung stole his soul in a previous tournament, and it's Shang Tsung. So then we go to Hong Kong, where Shang Tsung's boat is being boarded to go to his island, and we find Sonya and Jax trailing Kano at this weird like goth club. Oh, fucking 90s. Ultimately, the chase leads her onto the boat because Kano like baits her into getting on it. They don't really know what the fuck is going on. And so they go downstairs and are confronted by Sub-Zero and Scorpion. Raiden intervenes and pretty much stops it. And then he's like, "Shang Tsung, what the fuck, bro? We're not even at the island yet." And he's like, "Oh, my bad." They're trying to understand what the hell's happening. They just saw a bunch of weird, like, fuckery with some guy that freezes stuff, and Scorpion with the snake hand and all that shit. Which, let me point out real quick, he doesn't have the damn kunai on the chain. In the movie, he has, like, a weird serpent come out of his hand, like, literally from his palm. I don't know what the hell, Paul Anderson's thinking about that. I mean, he's fucked up a lot of movies. Not gonna mention any names, but that was like a simple thing. Clearly it's a fucking chain with a kunai on it, not a snake. Good job, Paul. Anyway, Shang Tsung does his typical over-the-top "it has begun" thing, and then they get to the island, and yeah, everything's pretty chill. I mean, they see Sub-Zero like kill a guy, and they're just like, yeah, something's not right in this tournament. So then Liu Kang sees Princess Kitana, who he's heard about, and he's trying to get close to her to talk to her, but she's protected by Reptile, who Shang Tsung put up to be her bodyguard pretty much, and he straight up spits acid in his face. And Liu Kang's like, "Alright, bro, I'm gonna remember that for later." They see Kano, gorging on food like a true asshole, and he's like, "I don't know who the Shang Tsung guy is." Girl's like, "You son of a bitch! How dare you challenge him? He is a champion!" Or whatever the fuck he says. So in the tournament, Liu Kang fights some random nameless guy who I thought was Kai from MK4, but it's not. It's just some dude with dreads. I don't know. He defeats him, but he won't kill him because he's obviously a good guy. So Shang Tsung does it for him. And then we see Johnny Cage fight Scorpion, which is pretty cool. It could have been better. And then he goes to toasty Johnny Cage, and he blocks it when fucking blows him up into smithereens, leaves his autograph. So Scorpion went to do his fatality, and Johnny Cage is like, "Nah, brah," and snaked him, and he did his friendship. Sonya fights Kano, and pretty much gets the shit beaten out of her, and then she does some weird handstand thing and breaks his neck. "No, Sonya! Don't! Give me a break!" "Okay." So then Liu Kang's fighting Kitana on the island, and neither one of them really want to kill each other, so they're just kind of play fighting, faking it. She's like, "For your next fight, use the element which brings life," and then just leaves it at that, no other clues. And he's just like, "What the fuck does that mean?" And then he fights Sub-Zero, and then as the fight progresses, he's starting to kind of lose a little bit, and he's like, "Oh, wait a minute." He conveniently finds this fucking pail of water just on the ground, and he hurls it, and then it turns into a giant spike and impales him. And then Shang Tsung is like, "You know what? That's enough of Earth winning. Fuck all this." So then Goro kills like 30 people like in rapid succession. That's like the last straw for Johnny Cage. So then he's like, Alright, I'm gonna challenge Goro because I want to impress Sonya because she's pretty hot, and also because fuck Goro, that's why. So then he fights Goro. Goro crushes his sunglasses, and then he's like, oh, those are $500 sunglasses, asshole. And then he punches him in the dick, and then he falls off a cliff. And then I guess that pisses Shang Tsung off because he's a sore loser. So he grabs Sonya and challenges her to Mortal Kombat, but he can't fight her unless she accepts it. And so he just kidnaps her and takes her to like Outworld. So they go to Outworld. Then Reptile pretty much jumps in the way of Liu Kang again. He's like, hey bro, remember what I said last time? Reptile like gets sucked into like a fucking statue and then turns into like the ninja version of himself. If we put a reptile inside of a stone statue, he'll become a human being. Paul Anderson, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Anderson. So he fights Reptile, beats the shit out of him. That's a pretty good fight. I think that's like the best fight in the movie, aside from the Scorpion fight, to be honest. So then they're in like the tower, and then Shang Tsung's like trying to challenge her, and then Liu Kang steps forth, and he's like, no, you'll fight me. Shang Tsung sends like a bunch of like dead warriors after him, and of course he runs through them like nothing. And then they're fighting like up the stairwell, and then meanwhile spikes are coming through the ground, kind of like foreshadowing a fatality. So then right before he's about to like knock Shang Tsung off the cliff, he turns into his brother and tries to like trick him, but he's like, nah, you're not Chan, fuck you. And then he does like some Goku shit and hits him with a fireball, and then he falls to his death, fatality. And then like all these souls come out of his body, and he sees the real Chan, makes peace with him, and then he goes off into like the sunset or whatever the fuck's going on there. Then they all return to Earth, all happy. They go to the temple, and they're all like celebrating the victory because they won Mortal Kombat. And then all of a sudden, Shao Kahn shows up, but it's not like the human-looking Shao Kahn or like the skull mask like we think of. It's like this weird like demonic gargoyle-looking fucking thing. I don't know. Paul Anderson. Need I say more? And that's Mortal Kombat. Alright, y'all. See you on the next one. Bye.